On December 26, 1991, the Soviet Union was formally dissolved, and from it rose 15 independent states. But in its shadow, various international organizations emerged in the former Soviet countries. These organizations serve a diverse array of functions, and there is some strange overlap between them. Additionally, this diplomatic situation is something not often discussed. So with that, I introduce you to the former USSR Explained. The first and most important organization established in this region came on the date of the Union's dissolution and from the very same document, Declaration number 142H of the Soviet of the Republics of the Supreme Soviet of the Soviet Union, which established the Commonwealth of Independent States, or CIS. The CIS has 9 members and 2 observer states. The members are, in decreasing order of population, Russia, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Azerbaijan, Belarus, Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan, Moldova, and Armenia. In addition to its 9 members, it has Ukraine and Turkmenistan as associated members. The primary work of the CIS is coordinating with respect to finance, lawmaking, and security, and in order to do this, it has its own legislative assembly, the International Parliamentary Assembly, in which member countries discuss parliamentary cooperation, draft documents, and review model legislation. The IPA is also involved in the CIS integration process and sends observers to national elections. In addition to its parliament, the CIS has its own free trade area, of which all members except Azerbaijan and one non-member, Ukraine, belongs to. Lastly, the CIS has 3 other organizations under its overview: the Collective Security Treaty Organization, the Eurasian Economic Union, and the Union State. The CSTO is a somewhat standard order military alliance between its members, Russia, Kazakhstan, Belarus, Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan, and Armenia. And like the CIS, it has observer states, which in this case are Afghanistan and Serbia. This arrangement is similar to the Warsaw Pact in that Russia gets expanded influence and reduces membership of rival organizations, and the other members get the benefit of a large ally in close proximity to them. Although in the case of the CSTO, the defense of these states is more meaningful of a benefit because their governments are more than Russian puppets. The Eurasian Economic Union is a single market with free movement of people, goods, capital, and services, as well as common economic policies pertaining to its members, those being Russia, Kazakhstan, Belarus, Kyrgyzstan, and Armenia. Thus, the EAEU is a lot like the EU in that it's a single market governed by supranational and intergovernmental institutions, most notably the Supreme Eurasian Economic Council, the Eurasian Intergovernmental Council, and the Court of the EAEU. These institutions are nothing special of an economic union this interwoven, and such a union is valuable given the state of the economies in these former Soviet countries. Finally, there's the Union State between Belarus and Russia. The Union State was intended to create a federation similar to the USSR, but that hasn't happened as it lacks the authority to do so, being unable to overrule members' laws or represent its members in international organizations. Because of this, coupled with the fact that the parliament was never implemented, the type of federation it hopes to achieve seems distant at best. Many other nations have considered joining, but these considerations have yet to see any action, and expansion of the Union State seems very unlikely. So far we have the CIS and its associated organizations summarized into this image, but we aren't done talking about these complicated relationships, because at the time of the CSTO's foundation, some nations decided that all this talk of military alliances was starting to sound like a horrifyingly familiar prospect. So in response, GUAM was organized. GUAM has 4 members: Georgia, Ukraine, Azerbaijan, and Moldova, thus the acronym. In addition to those members, Turkey and Latvia are observer states. The organization is largely seen as a way of countering Russia's influence in the web of organizations characterizing the world of post-Soviet nations, and as such is on good terms with the United States. Lastly, there are 2 more international organizations in the post-Soviet world which do not overlap with any of the above organizations or each other, but which are both significant. These are the Baltic Assembly and the Community for Democracy and Rights of Nations. The Baltic Assembly is essentially a mini EU within the EU. It was formed as a result of the Baltic states rejecting the CIS on the basis that they considered their USSR membership an illegal occupation. It is a parliament in which member countries make various common policies, and one of their tasks is working to implement EU policy within the Baltic states of Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia. The Community for Democracy and Rights of Nations is an association of 4 unrecognized states: Abkhazia, the Republic of Artsakh, South Ossetia, and Transnistria. The organization seeks to gain recognition for its members and promote fair and peaceful settlement of conflict, which is unsurprising considering its members are unrecognized states born of conflict in the semi-recent past. So that's the post-Soviet diplomatic situation. The CIS with its selective IPA and FTA, the CSTO as well as the EAEU and Union State under its oversight, GUAM for countries who like Russia close but not too close, the Baltic Assembly because little guys need to stick together, and finally the CDRN for countries that want recognition.